In override, we trust.
Raise the stalker in the sky.
Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Fleet command coming in. Capture the target area and engage any hostiles.
I am here to provide a somewhat missile-free environment. Enjoy.
And I'm here to do the opposite, but for that.
Override engaged.
Can you detonate missiles at the source? Wouldn't that be nice to have?
There's actually a video that the Beef did years ago.
Beef did that one, yeah.
Yeah, where he stood behind with a kit box. That was a riot. Yeah, I think he was standing behind a dire whale when he did that. I think he called it missile deleting.
Keep it up.
Yeah, point blank.
Target acquired.
Got a guy in the tunnel.
Vindicated from the tunnel. There's one light coming over the saddle as well, but I think I scared him off for the moment.
Copy. I'm gonna take a look just to see.
New target acquired.
Oh, target beta is Wi-Fi.
Nice.
UAV activated.
Yeah, we got a couple coming over the top. We have at least 2, maybe 3 mechs over here at the saddle.
Target spotted.
Careful, Mad Cat.
Heat level critical. Target destroyed.
Much for him.
Image enhancement engaged.
Saddle looks like it's manageable.
New target acquired.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a beat up over here. We could use somebody else to come over if you guys have any. Make them come over the top, Madcap.
New target acquired.
Firewolf on the approach.
Well, so much for our Madcap. We definitely could use some help at the saddle.
I'm away.
Thank you. There's only 1.5 of us left.
Target destroyed.
Oh, that's hilarious.
There's an assault on the other side of the hill here. At Echo 6.
Target spotted.
Target acquired.
Command on the water.
Target destroyed.
Settle looks like it's clear.
Somebody in the
Delta 5.
tunnel. Keep wanting to close the cave.
Cave works for me. We have 2 guys coming around the backside. They're going to be coming into Delta 6. Our team, that is. I still have armor to share if you guys are tore up.
Acquired. Critical.
Lima looks like he's got a lot of internal damage. Nice work. One left.
Command is happy to hear of your success and achievements on the surface.
GG gang, well done.
Great job. Great comms, by the way. Sorry about the 14 toes I stepped on.
I stepped on Bronny.
Damn, did I have highest team damage? I had highest match damage. Wow. So let me show you this build. I swear, I love the builds more than I love the game. Just about. Oh, God, that hurt. Stretching my fingers out. Now they're all spasming. Yeah, last match of the night. So this is what I call happiness. Happiness is players that don't have LRMs or do have LRMs or missiles or whatever. Happiness is not having to deal with missiles incoming. And that's what happiness is. And 3 AMS is nice, but 4 is even better. And that's what I've got here. And I painted this mech up to be exactly what I wanted it to be. And I'm not leaning in one direction or the other, but if I could have put a rainbow on this thing, I might have even done that too. But I originally had this thing with a lot of really weird colors on it, and I found that it made it really stand out on the battlefield, and that's not what you want. So I left one color, which was the pink, and I went with all blacks. And I really dig this thing. This is absolutely the ugliest mech on the battlefield. But this thing kind of reminds me of my truck. Not to say that my truck is the ugliest thing in the battlefield. But this has a winch on the front. And it's got one hell of a bumper on the front, like my truck does. And my truck has a big sound system in it, which this thing probably should have. Because, you know, anything that stands out this much ought to be loud. Let me show it to you. So I struggled all over the place trying to find a really good build for this. And the biggest problem I always ran into was heat. Even when the AMS isn't working, it was always too hot. So then I came up with this build. So I've got the 4 laser AMS on board, and in retrospect, I could probably go with 4 non-laser AMS, and it probably might actually do me better as far as keeping cool. But I'm not chancing it because I don't think there's enough slots left over to have enough ammo to be able to fire those all the time, because you would only end up with 4 slots for the AMS ammo, because 4 of the slots would be taken up by the AMS itself. So I don't know if 4 tons is going to be enough ammo. As an example, we'll just try one just for fun. Throw one on here, and just so I can see what the ammo is going to look like. So the ammo capacity is 3,000 shots. I'm going to go through 3,000 shots without breaking a sweat. So that's not going to be an issue. So I don't know if 12,000 shots for AMS is going to be enough. I think I'm just going to run right through it. So that's why I went with the laser AMS. Well, I'm also running 4 medium X-pulse lasers. Yes, these are hot, but they also deliver damage. And the nice thing about them is they keep firing. And I wanted something to complement my 2 LBX-5s. Now, before you start saying, oh, that's not nearly enough firepower, look at the last match. I had a bunch of solo kills. I'm pretty okay with that. So I must have been doing something right. As far as ammo, I went with 4 tons of ammo for my 2 LBX-5s. I'm also running 6 double heat sinks. So even with all that, the heat management is 0.94. Now, I don't think that's terrible, because I'm running, what do we got here? 8 weapons that produce a lot of heat, and 2 weapons that produce very little heat, but they still produce some heat. And I'm firing these left and right. And I think this is doing rather well. Let's take a look at the quirks that this mech has, if any. So the firepower, we're getting a range plus 10%. Inner sphere AMS range plus 5%. Laser heat generation minus 5%. And then center torso, you're getting plus 25. Left and right torso plus 25. And base structure of right arm plus 10. That's not terrible. And that seems to work rather well for me. 2 cool shots in a UAV like I typically would do on my LRM boats. I'm doing the same here. And I want to show you the weapons grouping in a second, but I didn't go max out on range, but I did pretty damn close to max heat generation control. I went with magazine capacity, LBX spread. I'm not too concerned about laser duration because I have a, I think it's a 0.25 cooldown on these weapons here. Yeah, so I'm not too worried about duration. So the cooldown is really nice. Skeletal density, armor hardening, reinforced casing, overheat damage, AMS overload, everything maxed out across the board there. If there was 6 points of overheat damage protection, I would have had that too. Because it does get hot, and when I get into a tight situations, when I'm dealing with multiple mechs, I am going to get into an overheat situation, and the last thing I want to do is have to shut my mech down. So I want to make sure that I'm going to keep my internals if I can. Cool run, heat containment, just a must. I really would have liked to have kept seismic sensor, but it really wasn't in the cards. I did go with full sensor range and radar deprivation and advanced zoom. Now, why the advanced zoom? It's simple. These have a optimum range of 854 meters, and I wanted to be able to target specific. And when I get into showing you how the weapons are loaded out, you'll understand. And then 2 cool shots in a UAV, which was explained. So going back to the advanced zoom, I wanted the advanced zoom because on my buttons 3, I can fire these LBX-5s independently of the lasers. And I want to be able to take advantage of those at range. So whenever I want to shoot somebody at range, I use just these, and then I'm not firing my X-pulse lasers, which would be redundant because the X-pulse lasers have a very limited range. And in this case, it's 330 meters. Yeah, 330 meters, about 329 meters, which isn't very much, but it's something. And then 540 is a maximum plus 118 meters on top of that, but realistically, we know it's not doing very much damage at that range. But the big thing was I wanted to be able to fire these at range and be able to throw damage downrange without having to deal with these. Not to mention, sometimes I want to fire these independently of my X-pulse lasers if I'm getting hot, because by just firing the LBXs, they don't produce enough heat to keep me in a hot zone. I'm actually going to start cooling down while I'm firing these. So that really works out to my advantage. So yeah, I'm very pleased with this overall mech style. I have to be honest, I've actually owned this mech twice, this exact model. I bought it, I had it, I played with it, I hated it, I sold it. One of my subscribers told me, man, you just didn't give that thing enough time and enough chance. So I bought it again and started skilling out over again. And now I love it. And I just feel like this mech does really well on it. I'd like to see them do some more of the trash builds like this. I kind of consider the Bushwhacker, the Hellfire, and a couple other mechs in that regard, because they kind of look like walking trash heaps. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the match and the review, and if you have any questions, don't forget to hit me up in the comments, and I would love to see you on the battlefield.